If you want to play better man coverage defense in college football 26, then you're in luck. Because in today's video, I'm going to break down the biggest secret the pros use to play lockdown man coverage that will instantly improve your defense starting now. The biggest thing most players don't understand about man coverage is that these defenses already have built-in shading into the play, and every different type of man coverage defense will have different built-in shading. So in today's video, I'm going to go over every single different type of man coverage defense, break down the built-in shading they have in the play, and show you guys how you can utilize this to your advantage. So there's essentially three different types of man coverage defenses in college football 26. There's going to be cover one, which is going to mean there's man coverage underneath with one safety over the top, normally playing the center field, like the deep middle and the inside third as we have here. And then there's going to be a robber coming down in a hook zone. That's cover one. Then we have cover two man. This is man coverage underneath with two safeties deep. Generally, most players will have them in the deep halves. They are in deep halves by default, but sometimes players will adjust those specific zones. Finally, we have cover zero. This is going to be man coverage across the board with a heavy blitz. This is typically going to be like a 6-man blitz. Now, let's start with cover zero, and if you want more content like this, make sure you subscribe to the channel and drop me a like on the video. Now, with cover zero, what you're going to notice is that the DBs have a built-in shade to the inside. And I know this might seem confusing, because if you look at the outside left corner, for instance, you'll notice he's actually lined up to the outside of that receiver slightly. So you would think that this was actually an outside shade, but no, cover zero actually has built-in inside shade to basically try to use the sideline as an extra defender. And that's basically because in cover zero, there's no safety in the middle of the field, so we don't want to give up the inside. So that's why cover zero has an inside shade. So what you'll notice is with cover zero, routes like speed outs, corners, etc., any sort of outbreaking route are going to give it problems. Like you'll see right there, that DB literally got turned around and just gave that up very easily. Corner routes, same type of situation. You're going to notice that they're continuously just going to get wide open. Like the DB basically fell down there. Now, keep in mind, shading is not 100% of the time, so it won't always fry it that bad, but generally speaking, outbreaking routes like corners and speed outs will cook cover zero, right? Now, the other thing about this is obviously when you know this stuff, you can use it to your advantage on offense, because when you see the defense in a specific look, you know what type of man coverage they're in, you kind of know what routes are going to be good. Like, for instance, here, in a cover zero, if we, wanted to just run a whole bunch of routes over the middle of the field, like that probably would not be a good idea, because we know that they're shaded inside, so, they're just not going to have a ton of separation. Like you see right there, both of those drags were pretty well covered, but again, this is college football 26, and you just catch all sorts of bullshit, so, there's that. But you notice those drags were covered really well. So now that I know this information, I can actually use it to my advantage. Let's say that one of the receivers keeps beating me on routes to the outside. Say it's a square receiver, he's running corners or speed outs. I know that cover zero has inside shade, so I know this is my weak point, okay? So what I'm going to do is route commit to the outside individually on that receiver by hitting triangle Y, the individual icon, which is X, that receiver's icon is square, and then to the left on the left stick, route commits to the outside. Now, route commit is different than shading. Shading is more about leverage. Route commit literally tells the AI to jump routes, either inside or outside. Route commit is a bit more powerful, and as you guys can see here, that DB, he jumps that, he's able to break it up. Even though there's the inside shade, he was able to get to the outside and break it up, okay? Now let's look at cover one. Cover one is very interesting because we have a built-in outside shade, but I wouldn't say it's exactly that simple. In cover one, you have the safety in the deep zone in the middle of the field, as well as the hook zone. Now, I said that it has a default outside shade. If you've played football in real life, you know that really the outside corner is never supposed to just give up the inside. So from my experience playing this game in a cover one, I don't really believe that it was coded this way. I don't believe that they gave the outside corner an inside shade. I believe that the cover one is globally shaded outside. Here's why. Real quick, guys, if you want to dominate college football 26 and win more games, sign up for my VIP membership on Sportsgamerz.com. You'll get access to all my premium content for the entire year, including all my offensive and defensive ebooks, weekly tip updates, and more. I'm running a limited time sale on my yearly membership where you get 7 months for free and 6 bonus ebooks. Over 99% of our members say that they win more games with our tips. Click the link in the description of this video and start winning more games now. If I run these corner routes or even speed outs, these are not blatantly wide open. Actually, that almost got picked off. Now, it will be times where a corner route can get open, but it's not blatant like it was, in a cover 0, right? This is played a lot better. So specifically with cover 1, the in-breaking routes are going to be better. Like, they obviously have help with the hook zone and the deep zone, but this has a better chance to get open. And you'll notice, especially with square, like that does get separation. So you're seeing that there is definitely an outside shade going on with that outside corner. It's not just the slots. So with cover 1, you know that you have help over the middle of the field with the zones. But once again, if somebody is just frying you over the middle time and time again, your best bet is to use the route commit and route commit either your entire defense inside or just individually. So you can route commit globally by hitting R1 or RB and then either inside or outside. Here, because I know that I'm weaker by default inside and I keep getting beat on drags and slants and posts, I will route commit inside. Now you will notice the difference here. This play is not going to get nearly as open. You'll see, if I go ahead and snap the ball here, these routes are much, much better defended. Like, there was no separation there. So you're seeing that what I'm saying is true here. The cover 1 does, by default, have that global shade outside. And you guys can see, as soon as I route commit inside, how much better these routes are being played. I mean, there is not even a step of separation there. Now, cover 2 man is interesting because there's 2 shades built in. There's a shade underneath and a shade to the inside. Now, shade underneath basically gives you a trail technique. It's more aggressive coverage. So this is good and it's bad because, if I have really good DBs that can keep up, great, I love it. But you also do have the potential just to get blown by. Like right here, if I have a good press, this is probably good. But if my guy gets off the press, it's going to be bad. Because I had a good press, that was actually bagged. Nobody was even open at all. So when it works great. But what you'll notice is that if I run this a couple more times here, at some point, you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, where somebody just gets fried off the release, and that trail technique actually becomes a problem, like right there. See what I'm saying? If you get off that initial press with this type of defense, you're going to give up some big plays. So you are strong, generally speaking, over the middle of the field, unless you just get beat off the line because of that underneath shade. Now, the other thing you have to note about an underneath shade is like seam streaks can get a really good release and just cook you. So if you're going to play this type of defense, you almost have to use for that, kind of like deep middle of the field. Now, the other thing about this is you definitely can get beat just to the outside. So, one of the really easiest ways for me to beat this defense is, quick breaking routes to the outside, whether it's corners or whip type routes. Like right here, you'll see, those routes, the whip routes, they were open pretty much immediately. Corner routes can be a bit more dicey because they take a lot longer to break. So it's more, as you guys can see, it's more of a dice roll. That's not always going to get open. What I will tell you, though, is speed outs, if you stem them to like 10-ish yards, that is one of the best things you can do against this type of defense because that's going to break a little bit quicker and it's going to have a lot easier separation. So, again, knowing this, you need to be aware of what you can do with the route commit. If I already have a shade down and inside, I'm more worried about these type of outbreaking routes. Now, I don't really want to globally route commit one way most of the time. I'd rather individually. So like right here, say that, maybe I'm getting beat by all outbreaking routes. I could, but maybe I'm only getting beat by one. In that case, I only want to individually route commit to that receiver. So again, that would be triangle Y, the individual button, that receiver's icon, square, and then left on the left stick to route commit outside. Okay, so as soon as I do that, you'll see like this corner or speed out. Now he's running step for step with him, and that's going to be a pick every time. There's literally no separation. That is not a dice roll.